Hello everyone, Larry Satchwell here. Just got back from the garden center where I took my granddaughter shopping, and as you can see, we have quite a haul. It's that time of year where the garden centers are getting tired of watering everything and trying to keep everything alive, and some of them have way overstocked. So everything in the cart was at least 25% off, but we looked for some bargains. False sunflower, 50% off. I think we got 2 of those. Yeah, we did. This I paid full 25% off of. Pestrum Deep Rose. I really like it. I think the hummingbirds are going to like it. Unfortunately, it's in full bloom now, and I'll be cutting it back, but I'm sure it's going to bloom for the rest of the summer. We had 1 spot left in the wagon, and Julia says we had to fill it. So we went back and got this pretty little dianthesis. Got a deal on the speedweed, 75% off it. And again, I need to cut these back, but it's got a lot of new growth down here in the center. Got a couple of those. Couldn't pass up the pink here, some vinca. And I went to the garden center to find this, the cardinal flower. Mine didn't make it over the winter. Got a little crabgrass here with it as well. This flower needs a lot of moisture. So I'm going to prepare a bed especially for it. Right next to this hummingbird feeder was where the cardinal flower was last year. Right now I've just got some mulch and crabgrass growing in it. So I want to pull back all this mulch. Get down to the dirt. I've been using 30% vinegar to get rid of these weeds, and I just sprayed this one this morning. That 30% vinegar straight out of the bottle. I got it at Lowe's, but lots of garden centers have it. That is some powerful stuff. I've got some of this perennial weed under here. This is really difficult to get rid of. It spreads by underground roots, and I spray it all the time. What I want to do is bury this shallow pond liner here, whatever it is, and plant that cardinal flower inside it. That way I know it's retaining moisture because there's no holes in this. I was at Lowe's the other day and got a broken bag of potting mix, the Miracle Grow. I think it's 25% off if it's broken like that. And if you've watched any of my other videos, you know that I go for bargains, just like I did today. And this I put it in here because the bag was so broken it was hard to carry. And it's really gotten wet because it rained in it. So I'm pretty sure that this is going to hold moisture. If I can just get some more of it out of there. Oh, it's heavy. Very heavy. I didn't intend on putting the whole bag in here, but I might just do that, it looks like. I tried to put it in this feed sack, but it wouldn't go. Actually, I'm quite pleased with that. Miracle Grow potting soil. Wow, this is pretty root bound, but beautiful roots on it. Soil's so wet I can't pull it back enough. All right, we got to go check this out. So we're down here at the Lotus bathtub, obviously. I was at a local park not long ago, and I remember seeing this cardinal flower blooming here. And so I didn't pick the whole thing, but I did take a couple of cuttings. And I've had it here in the rocks for several weeks, about 3 weeks, I think. Oh, it's got some roots on it, I can feel it. And look what it has done. Now, if it's not cardinal flower, I'll have another plant in that bush, in that bucket. This one's done the same thing. Beautiful. New growth on there. The other stuff in here is basil. I've got lots more of it up at the top, but I wanted to propagate it. It really roots easily. That's only been in there a week. And look at that. We're going to plant this up at the top of the hill as well. Let's go back up there. This is the basil plant I took the cuttings off of. My friend Barbara Webb gave it me this. It's an African blue basil. It's got a great smell to it, but it even has better blooms. Let's go put this over there in the same pot. This gets full sun pretty much all day except really late in the afternoon. I'm going to put this basil in there with it since it's doing so well in the water over there. Couldn't ask for more. This is a great time of year to pick things up cheap, but you've got to be willing to take care of them because it's a terrible time of year to transplant things. You've really got to watch over them and water them. This is the cardinal flower tag from last year, so I'll just put that right there. And I'm going to get some more mulch to put over the top here and just hide this whole barrel, half a barrel or whatever it was. Again, I got that at Lowe's. So I'm going to plant these and send you to the garden tour. Well, here we are, June 1st, 2024, garden update. I'm getting an early start this morning because I just said goodbye to the Rutledges going back to Texas this morning. It's gonna be a lonely day around here. It's been a great week with grandkids. But I'm here in front of my bee balm. I told JM, who gave me this bee balm last year, I've only been at his house in the summer and it's always about knee high. Well, this is chest high to me. I know it's about a foot up, but this is at least 5 feet tall. I've got some powdery mildew going on in here because they're so thick. I've thinned them out twice, but I'm gonna have to treat that, and it's not hard, but you gotta get an early start on it. When I was thinning them out, I found a false indigo. I knew there was one here last year, but it came back. It just got overwhelmed by the bee balm. A little video I did yesterday afternoon, and I hope you enjoyed it. Let's go through the vegetable garden here first. Well, there's Dodger over there looking through my baskets that I just don't know what to do with. I'm so up in the air about those. I want to keep them and I don't want to keep them. But anyway, there's Dodger looking over at that strawberry patch, which is coming along really well. Right down here are the potatoes. And as you can see, they are ready to harvest. I've got one peeking out of the straw here. Got a couple peeking out of the straw here. And that's not good because those are going to be sunburned. But they will plant. So I know I've got a lot of potatoes in here. There's a nice red one. And if I don't dig these this week, they will start regrowing. That's the thing about potatoes here in the South. If you've got to get them out of the ground, and I won't be able to get all of them, but I'll get the majority of them, and I'll show you that harvest on the next garden update. Over here, we've got sunchokes or Jerusalem artichokes, along with canna lilies. Over here, this bed was there's only a few strawberry plants left in it, and I've been putting manure over here, and we'll till that in. This is a Hugo culture bed, and so there's a lot of wood down there that's, I think it's 3 years old, starting to really decompose. So we haven't been doing much with these two beds, strawberry beds. This is going to be the future of my squash, and we're going to put the strawberries over there in where it gets more sun. So the lettuce, a lot of it has gone to seed or bolted, but actually this Gabrielle is pretty good, tasty right now. I've got something growing up here, and I think it's a cucumber, so I've let it go in the squash. And let's look at these squash. Having the kids here last week, we did not harvest anything out of the garden. And the garden is doing pretty well vertically. But these squash are not going to go to waste. They're going to be chicken feed, and the chickens will love them. And we've got a lot more coming on. I need to get those picked today. Cucumbers, a lot of vines, but oh, there's a cucumber. I did not realize that was in there. I've been looking and looking. That's a nice cucumber. I believe these are straight 8s, and if that's not the case, I'll put a little note. But I've had really good luck with these. In just a matter of finding them. As you can see, they've overwhelmed the trestle. This little thing, it looks like it should be good, but it has a hollow end, and I've already propped it up. I've in fact tied it over here to the wire because it was propped over. But the cucumbers are taking over the onions. And speaking of onions, look at this patch of onions I've got. These are really bulbing up nicely, coming out of the ground. They are going to be here a couple more weeks, I think. They are going to fall over, eventually fall over, and what you want to see is this neck, the neck of the onion drying out. And that's when they're ready to harvest. Got some carrots here. These are the onions. These were difference here. These are onion plants. They came from Brown's Omaha Nursery, and as plants, these came as bulbs. So that's the difference. These will not get very big. I tried to save, if you are a viewer that's been watching, I had a couple of these year-round lettuce plants that the cats dug up, and I thought I saved them, but I didn't. So these are year-round, and I've got to get some more of those in the ground. I intended to have the girls help me plant those this week, but we just didn't get around to it. We were having so much fun. So most of this lettuce is going to be pulled up. I've got some more seed ordered. By the way, this is a great time. Seed catalogs right now are putting everything on sale. Free shipping or 30% off. Burpees right now has 50% off. But here we are in Ian's flower garden. This is where I started. That's the bee balm. This is red hot poker that I transplanted. And I'm not sure what this is. I think that is part of the amarist that I dug out of here. It is. It's coming back. Look at that red hot poker. That'll be up here in a couple weeks. So do we turn left or do we turn right? Let's turn right. And let's go on this side. This is the tomato patch. Doing pretty well. I'm got some tomatoes coming, as you can see. This is a variety called Blue Ribbon. This is another Blue Ribbon. So those are doing quite well. What is this one? There it is. That's another Blue Ribbon. So the Blue Ribbons are doing great. Can't say that for this San Marcos. And I'm not sure. I think I'm just going to cut this off right here. In fact, I'm going to do that now. Where's my scissors? They're in my pocket with my cucumber. I'm going to cut this off at the ground. And we'll see what it does. This is, of course, grass. But there is a tiny little plant right there. So that's either going to die down completely or make a new tomato. cucumber up. This is another San Marcos, so it's doing okay. So I'm not sure what exactly happened to that one. I'm bumping into this beautiful sunflower I've got right here. And I think this is a San Marcos, and it's kind of funky. I'm not sure what's going on with it. This one I did not cut the sucker out, so I added another string, and we'll see that there's no blooms on this one, but we've got 3 tomatoes coming on, and I'm not exactly sure. Oh, there's the tag. This is a celebrity, so this is a determinate tomato. I don't think it's going to get a lot taller. I'm here amongst the sunflowers. Let me step back even more. These are under the bird feeders. Now, the little ones over here, all of these are from the bird feeders up there. These are probably the black oil seeds. This one I've planted but did not label. And I'm not sure, I don't think I planted that one either. But there's a tomato plant in there that's trying to grow. And these sunflowers are going to get out of the way before the end of the summer. This is a nice bee. Peppers are in the same thing. I've let these sunflowers grow, so the peppers are kind of suffering from it. But we still have a nice pepper there. One coming on over there in total shade. Yeah, this is the Sweet 100 cherry tomato. Got a lot of blooms on it down here and a couple of tomatoes, actually. Here's the Rosiella. It has a lot of blooms on it. These are another little cherry tomato. There's some. Got some tomatoes right there. All right, these are the zucchini plants. And I had one rot off down here. So I've got some leaves that are looking kind of bad. This is one. So I'll clip that off. And I'm not sure what happened here, why those are looking so bad. Zucchini is one of those plants that either dies or you get thousands and thousands of pounds of zucchini off of. The dill, I like to cut back, keep it coming. And the marigolds are doing well. I haven't deadheaded these in a week. I kind of like to leave them as long as I can for the garden tour. I'm gonna get rid of those. I'll come back after the video. So over here, look, more squash that are just too big to eat, but the chickens are gonna love them. On the other side over here, raspberries are still looking great. We've been eating them. The girls have been out here every day picking them, and they've kept ahead of the birds this year. So I'm really pleased with that. And I'll just let this whole bed go here. We've got irises, but I'll probably transplant those this winter. The peas. We have eaten peas. We have given peas away. This is I think the variety was Big Boy. If you're a longtime viewer, you know I inoculated these with inoculant so that they would fix the nitrogen. So I will not pull these up. I will cut them off. I will cut them off at the stems down here and leave that nitrogen in the ground. And try to get them off of this net as best I can. Here's a couple more sunflowers in here. I did plant these, multi-heads, and as you can see, the corn is tasseling out. And look at that. This one has 2 ears on it. This is from Burpees. It's a bicolored. We'll have yellow and white corn on the same stalk. So this is the original planting. And this is like a week later, and this is 2 weeks later, and this is the one that Eli helped me with. And that brings us over here to the okra. These were all in the same pot, and I carefully pulled them apart. I didn't think they were all going to make it, but it looks like they are. The variety, just green okra, heirloom Clemson. So it's going to be a while before those come on. These over here, as you can see, this one's not filled out yet, but there's just so few on there that it's not worth keeping the vines going. And I'll give those to the chickens as well. Once the chickens have gotten all they want off of it, I'll put them in the compost. This is the wildflower garden. We've had terrible winds, and I didn't know these things were going to grow so tall. I would have propped them up a little bit better. These poppies are just beautiful. Aren't those pretty? Here's another one of the basil plants that Babs gave me, the African blue basil. They have beautiful blooms that the hummingbirds love. Well, we're here at the wildflower garden. Now, I'll mention this barrel. The pump is right there. I have too many fish, so I have to do frequent water changes. And this is pond water that I use to water the plants with. I keep another barrel over here, and I fill that up and let it sit for several days. So whenever I need to do a water change, these barrels are about the same size. So I will fill this barrel up and then take the water out of that one to put in. And this is very nutritious water. It's kind of like aquaponics. A lot more sunflowers over here. And this water lily has been blooming. There was a bloom over there. Another one's going to open up. They open up during the day and close at night, but this one hasn't opened yet. There's also some frog eggs in here, which I think toad eggs, but the girls loved looking and exploring those. This plant is doing really well. It was a Walmart reject, so it's blooms during the day. They close up at night. There's a bloom. Julia loved these. Another sunflower. I did plant this one. This should not be here. This is from a bug. But I haven't sprayed. I rarely spray anything on the garden. Some clips over here and put up my honeysuckle. Mexican petunia hasn't bloomed yet. This is the pond. And in the pond area, we have these beautiful honeysuckle, red honeysuckles. Hummingbirds are in there all day long. Girls bought a couple of tadpoles while we were at the nursery yesterday too. They have koi up there, and they were delighted to put them in here. Kate actually studied the frog cycle this year at school. Let's take a quick walk down here in the perennial garden. It's doing a lot better this time. This dianthesis, I think, will come back. I've been using 30% vinegar, like I mentioned earlier, and that's what that does in these weeds. You've got to be really careful of any overspray. Echinacea are looking great. This is black-eyed Susan that hasn't bloomed yet. Beautiful yarrow next to my Shasta daisies here. I fully intended to cut back those foxgloves, but we've been having so much fun this week, I just didn't get around to it. I think this is bat's wings or something. It's a beautiful flower, and it's very hard to tell when it comes up, but it spreads very nicely. I think this started off as one little plant. I've got some tickweed in there with my Joe Pye weed. This one over here, let me zoom in on that one. This one is a miniature, and those are full grown Joe Pye. Those will bloom later this summer. White echinacea here. This bee balm is actually more like the size bee balm should be. I'm not exactly sure what I did to get this super tall bee balm over here. If I don't get that supported somehow, though, the next big storm we have, it's going to be a problem. I wasn't successful with my planting of Nicotina this year like I was last year, but I did have a couple of plants come up from where it reseeded. These are the strawberries. They don't look real good right now that I'm going to be moving over to the garden. They do great up here in the sun. And my balloon flowers, they have not bloomed yet, but they've got a really good stand. Strawberries over on this side are looking much better. Those are the other ones that have this black spot, and you can spray for that. I just haven't. So a lot of white and blue and pale blue yarrow over here. Well, Karen said we were having salad tonight. I know there's going to be a cucumber in it. And I'm going to leave you here in front of my perennial garden. I think I'll take you up the top and walk along it, kind of walk along the garden as I say goodbye. If you're a gardener, I hope it's doing well, and I hope you enjoyed this tour. Thanks for watching. Come back. I do these on the 1st and the 15th of every month. If you have a question, leave it below. I'm no master gardener, but I'll try to find the answer for you. Thanks for watching.